What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the VGFightSchool channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. For the longest time, I used to hold Rocksteady in very high esteem. This is a studio that really changed my conception of how I perceive video games. I used to play very simple video games like soccer games, some sports games, and I was a very casual gamer. The moment I played Batman Arkham City, my entire perception of video games in terms of mechanics, fun, enjoyment actually did change. I have nothing against Rocksteady. They're still my favorite developer, but it appears that the pedestal that I held them on as the kings of superhero game development has now been shattered with their approach, possibly of taking Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to the live service genre. This doesn't mean that I don't like live service games. I actually have played a good number of live service games, or I guess I should say I've actually put a good amount of time in a few live service games, spent thousands of hours, even created a YouTube channel surrounding one of them. And I can tell you that there are a lot of benefits to a live service game. The problem, however, is the live service genre in the superhero category. That's where things get really tricky. Just recently, we got a report. Marvel's Avengers is going to be ending its support. This usually happens. Usually a live service game after a period of time can end its support. The really interesting thing though is that the support is ending a very short while compared to other live service games after the game has released. If you notice, the developers here on Crystal Dynamics basically said, to our amazing community, after 2.5 years of introducing 12 of Earth's Mighty Heroes, following update 2.8 on March 31st, we will no longer add new content or features to Marvel's Avengers. All official support for the game will end September 30th, 2023. Even after official support ceases on September 30th, 2023, both single and multiplayer gameplay will continue to be available. And what they're doing is giving all the cosmetics away and also ensuring that, whatever your credits or whatever is going to be turned into resources within the game. This is a very, very harrowing set of, I would say, news points that the community got to hear today. These are the people that basically supported this game all through. The people who stayed through, who paid money, who spent money on cosmetics. And we're starting to see that for the most part, the superhero genre is actually very delicate. You can break it even sometimes when you don't even mean to go the live service way. You might have players perceive that that is exactly what it is that you were doing. The case in point and the case study today is actually Gotham Knights. You can see it that more recently, a lot of people perceive this game as having some elements of live service, hence bad. That was the utter judgment a good number of players actually levied towards this particular game, which is very interesting because as much as one may say, well, it seems like this game seemed to have some live service elements, but maybe because of Avengers, they moved away from that. I guess you can say that's a good thing. But you know what's actually funny is a lot of the folk who actually said this so-called live service elements thing was a problem are now in a position saying that somehow, because it's Rocksteady, they might be able to break through in the live service aspect of the superhero genre. Now, I can understand being optimistic. I'm an optimist myself, and I do hope that they break into this live service genre. But again, I think we also have to understand that it's actually probably too close for us to be talking like this. Marvel's Avengers just showed up in 2020. The Gotham Knights game that wasn't even a live service game got called and categorized as a live service game, showed up in 2022, and Suicide Squad coming in 2023 probably is showing me that it appears that a lot of gamers are more open-minded than I thought. I thought with the way they treated Gotham Knights, most people were kind of closed-minded and wanted a specific select type of video game that they were demanding. But seeing that they're not getting that video game from their favorite studio, Rocksteady, it seems the tune has changed. Now, here is the thing. If Rocksteady is not able to deliver this game to satisfy a lot of their audience members, then they would have basically changed their identity and, in the eyes of many people, failed. I'm looking forward to actually seeing what this game is about. There's not any excitement in my bones. I'm just looking forward to it. But at the same time, it will be nice if everybody can be consistent and also make sure that they maintain the energy that they had for Marvel's Avengers towards Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Remember, Avengers was not necessarily a big surprise. I think that's another thing that we must speak about. Marvel's Avengers actually had 2 betas where people could actually play the game and understand the nature and the aspect of the video game itself. So it wasn't like this big old surprise where you spend $70 for a full-fledged game and then the game wanted for you to go ahead and keep buying cosmetics. No. We got to see it before then. With Suicide Squad, we're getting to see this. And I'm hoping that a lot of people don't go ahead and play a switcheroo, because I'm seeing opinions change on Twitter. And this is not to basically dog on anybody. This is to just go ahead and say you really have to maintain consistency. You see, that's the thing. You know, your tweets and the way you handled other video games and called names and made fun of them because of the way they were presented that you didn't like has to also be the same energy that you maintain, even though it's coming from a studio that you actually do like. I like Rocksteady. But if I'm going to treat Rocksteady consistently with the way I treated Crystal Dynamics, then I'm going to be going in very cautiously like I do to Marvel's Avengers. Now, keep in mind that I bought 2 copies of Marvel's Avengers. So, which means that I'll probably only be buying 2 copies of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I don't go, become a hypocrite, right? Now, ideally, I probably would have bought 3 copies for all the platforms, but I guess maybe because I want to be consistent now, I got to do only 2 copies and kind of maybe keep my expectations as low as possible. So here's what I'm saying. A lot of the responses, a lot of the way folk have actually approached video games in the last few years need to be a lot more measured, because you never know. Your favorite studio may just be that studio that comes out and does the one thing that you've probably been an enemy of, or you've mocked other studios from in just the recent past. I remember having a conversation with someone on Twitter. They said to me, and they've been very, very, in my opinion anyways, they've been rejoicing in their minds that somehow Gotham Knights failed. And I always kind of wondered, saying, I can't imagine that this person doesn't know that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to be a live service game. And the truth is, a lot of people knew, but they purposefully somehow pretended like they didn't know that that was going to be the case. And on seeing that leaked photo, I think it just kind of maybe caught them off guard that they had been mocking other games for doing this one thing, and then Suicide Squad is going to do the exact same thing, or at least something somewhat similar based on the leak. Allegedly, we don't know. You never know. This delay may have been for them to actually go ahead and rewrite a lot of the game or restructure things within the game, because the live service thing is probably not working. But then at the end of the day, you also have to kind of, be concerned and understand that whomever is going to continue to maintain the tradition of the superhero games that people like need to be given the commendation. And this is why I'm saying that so-called title that I always levied towards Rocksteady as the Kings, I have now, for this time being, retracted it, and I'm going to be giving it to Insomniac. This is a studio that really does deserve it. They are students of the craft, especially from taking notes from the Arkham games. I agree with the way they approach their games in terms of game design, game development, a lot of fan service. And so, yes, right now, in terms of those areas like mechanics, gameplay, the loop, in terms of action adventure in superhero genre, I think they probably deserve to hold that medal for the time being, and they get the benefit of the doubt for Spider-Man 2, even though I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, and possibly Wolverine. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. And so we'll see what Rocksteady has to do after Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They may return to their original track and do things the way that they've always wanted to do it, or maybe their Suicide Squad game might be the game that breaks through. But here's the thing about live service games. Execution is everything, and you never really know. As much as, Rocksteady may boast or brag that it's made online multiplayer games before, those online multiplayer games, or that online multiplayer game that they made back in the day, was in a different environment and a different time. So I'm still waiting to see, but at the same time, I still have to go ahead and say, I just hope that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League doesn't give us a notification like this a few years down the road telling us that all of those Battle Pass items are going to be given away for free. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.